They did the Mikal Bridges introduction yesterday. It was yesterday, right? 2 days ago? Yesterday. No, I think it was yesterday. And not much, right? Not much. Just pretty basic, pretty basic stuff. You could tell he's excited. He said, what sucks about it is it's the middle of the summer, right? So I think for him, it's one of those where he doesn't want to, he's obviously excited, but he wants to go out there and play with this team. I'm sure he's very excited about obviously the Villanova guys, but everyone else, right? OG Anunoby, Julius Randle, Mitchell Robinson. They have a really, really good team, and has great upside potential. So he's potentially a missing piece, and we're going to see if he fills that role or not. But like I said, there isn't much to take away from the introduction outside of this, right? This to me was one of a few things, which was they asked him a lot about OG Anunoby, and he was very candid in saying that they're good friends. They've built a relationship over the years, and he's really excited to play with OG, right? He's always spoken highly of him. And to be on the same team as OG, he's really excited about that. Now, for me being fucking skeptical, I'm like, are you just saying that because you don't want to make it look like you're overly excited to go play with your college homies? And obviously OG is a really good player in this league, and has shown flashes of greatness. And pairing him up, Mikal Bridges up with OG, they had even asked the question of how does them two match up against Jayson Tatum and Jaylen Brown, which is a valid question, right? You have you have one of the, if not the best duo in the league, especially because they had just carried their team to a championship, or not carried, but gotten their team to the finals again, and now gotten the championship with better help around them. And now you're comparing two players that have never played together to two players that have been playing together for like 6-7 years, right? And this is what I'm talking about. I was talking about this with the Celtics. You cannot reciprocate the path that they've been on, the losses that they've had, right? Going at it against all of these teams, thinking they have a chance, ultimately falling. They lost on their home floor. The Warriors celebrated on their home floor. On Boston's home floor. Sorry, I just want to make that clear. Feeling those emotions, right? Feeling that loss. Having your guys traded because you guys didn't get the job done. Now getting new players in and everyone's expecting you guys to win, right? All of these roller coaster of emotions you can't replicate. And even though they have had different players, right? Drew and KP are here now, but Tatum and Brown have gone through that whole process together. And you're talking about an OG Anunoby who is still, kind of figuring out where he is on this Knicks team, right? Julius Randle's been out. I've already spoken about having to figure out that dynamic because he's a 20-plus point per game scorer, right? Having the real back of Jalen Brunson, that's, in my opinion, was by the end of the season an MVP candidate, right? Adding an OG Anunoby who just got paid. Mikal Bridges. They have so many things that they have to mesh together first, right? Now, here's the other part. Does Tatum even end up against OG or Mikal Bridges? Because if you think about the lineup that the Celtics run with Jrue Holiday, Derek White, Jaylen Brown, Jayson Tatum, and the Kristaps Porzingis, and if you're thinking that the Knicks are going to run Brunson, OG, Mikal Bridges, Julius Randle, and Mitchell Robinson, then that becomes an issue, because then you end up having a Jayson Tatum lining up against a Julius Randle. So in the matchup between these two teams, it really depends on the lineup, right? Because now the matchup is totally different, right? Now you have the two stars of the team, which is a Julius Randle and a Jayson Tatum, going at it. And now you end up having, let's say, a OG Anunoby against the Jaylen Brown, and Derek White probably gets the Bridges, the Mikal Bridges assignment. And then obviously Jrue Holiday with Jalen Brunson. So they might not even be matching up. And I understand the question, because they're both wing players, and saying this, the duo of OG and Mikal can, if they can be a counter to a Tatum and a Brown, and that's when I say, wait, well, hold up, they might not even be lined up against each other. So, yeah, and like I said, the experience, the time, I like our team, right? I like our team. I like the fact that these two guys, I think, in terms of competing, athleticism and size, can hold their own against these two players, right? Which is great, because now you're talking about a Kristaps Porzingis and a Jrue Holiday that basically has to match the two all-stars, or the two superstars, or a superstar and all-star, however you want to classify Jalen Brunson and Julius Randle. So I do like, I like this, right? I like this for the Knicks, where, they have two really good players that could really force Brown and Tatum to play defense and compete, that it could potentially free up a Jalen Brunson and a Julius Randle.